Welcome back to another video. This Ebyte, and today I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks which will hopefully help you to improve your recoil control for the SMG-11. I have been receiving a lot of comments recently asking for advice on how to control some of the more difficult weapons in the game, the SMG-11 being one of them. I personally run the SMG-11 on every operator it's available on, so that is Sledge, Amaru, Smoke and Mute, I believe. I don't think there are any others, mainly because it is a ridiculous gun when you're able to control it. It's so much better than a pistol in my opinion. So like I said, I will be breaking down how I control recoil, the kind of attachments you want to be running on the SMG-11, and maybe in a future video I'll break down other guns like the SMG-12, LS Scorpion. If there is a gun you'd like me to break down, just leave a comment down in the comment section below and I'll see what I can do for you. But like I said, today we're going to be focusing purely on the SMG-11. But before I do continue, 84.9% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you enjoy Rainbow Six Siege content, please consider subscribing. It'd be greatly appreciated. So first off, what you mainly want to focus on is the attachments. You want to make sure you have the correct attachments equipped to the SMG-11. Obviously, some of these can be personal preference. This is what I currently run on the SMG-11. Holographic, flash hider and vertical. I personally don't run laser on the SMG-11, mainly because if I happen to be holding an angle, if I'm like smoke or mute, so it's my long range gun because I'll be running shotgun as a primary, I don't want to give away my position with a laser. If I've got a shotgun in hand, obviously run a laser on that because it does help to improve the hip fire spread, but no, I don't run laser on the SMG-11. Like I said, that's just personal preference. I have seen some people run reflex or red dot or extended barrel on the SMG-11. If that works for you, go for it. Like I said, I run hollow, flash hider and vertical grip. So the first thing you want to do when learning to master or control recoil is to figure out or see the initial recoil pattern without any recoil control at all. So in this instance, I'm using the SMG-11. What I'm going to do is go up to a flat surface or wall, ADS, and pull the trigger without touching my right analog stick. So absolutely no recoil control, and just see what the initial pattern looks like. So if I was to aim here and pull the trigger, as you can see, the gun goes up and it does occasionally pull out to the left before kind of coming back in. So in order to control this recoil, what you want to do is locate the last bullet and then try work your way back to the first one. So in this instance, I'm going to be wanting to pull down and into the right slightly. So if I was to do this while firing, so I ADS and I pull down to the right whilst firing, as you can see, that recoil is so much better than this this pattern right here. So it's just, it will take a little bit of practice. It's not something you can do immediately. Don't be surprised if it takes you a couple tries. I mean, that's not bad for kind of straight off the bat. If I was to keep trying, the recoil pattern is slightly different every time I shoot it or every time you shoot it. So if I was to ADS again and not control the recoil, you can see that it is slightly different from the previous one. And again slightly different, but as you see, it does pull out to the left. So as long as you're pulling down and to the right slightly, you will be able to control the recoil a lot better. Now, I don't expect you to be running around with the SMG-11 going full auto on every player you see, because in certain circumstances that's just not going to work. If you are struggling with the recoil, I would recommend firing in 4 to 6 round bursts. This makes the recoil much more manageable, and if anything, you pretty much have no recoil. So I'll show you on this this wall round front. So 4 to 6 round bursts. Unfortunately, with the SMG-11, you don't have the option to put your gun or the SMG into single fire or 3 burst. You just kind of have to gauge it. So like I said, I will show you right here. So again, 4 to 6 round bursts. I think that first one was that 5, and then 4, and then 5 or 6, and then I think that was 2 there. So we'll try again. But as you can see, you're still pulling down with the right analog stick, but it does make the recoil a lot easier to control. Once you're comfortable or happy with your recoil control, what I'd recommend doing is hopping into a T-Hunt and putting this into practice. It can be incredibly difficult, going from kind of just not aiming at anything on a flat wall to trying to aim at a moving target or player whilst also controlling the recoil. Initially, what I'd recommend doing is aiming at chest or head height. I mean, you should technically be doing that anyway, but like I said, if you aim at chest height and you happen to let the recoil control go a little bit too high, you're obviously going to hit a headshot, so you'll still get the kill, but maybe not as quick. What I tried to do with the SMG-11 is to aim for the headshot immediately. It does have quite a quick ADS, so if you're running around and you happen to kind of quick peek and you're aiming at head height, you don't really have to worry about the recoil, because your first couple bullets will hit the headshot and that's you got the kill. Initially, I'd recommend ADSing without leaning to one side or the other. This just makes it so much easier to control the recoil, especially if you're having difficulty. In terms of burst fire or full auto, if you're within, what's that distance? I would say if you're within 8 meters, I would recommend just going full auto and pulling down as hard as you can. If it's over 8 meters, if you happen to be a little bit further back, I'd recommend tap firing. Just allows you to be a little bit more accurate and not have to worry. Just like that right there. So now you're aware of what you should be focusing on. It's just a matter of practicing. Like I said, initially try to aim for head height or chest, whichever is easiest for you. You can obviously burst fire, or you can full auto depending on the range. Initially you can either run around constantly ADS or ADS when you see someone. I personally prefer ADSing when I see someone. Don't worry about reaction time, that will come with practice. The more comfortable you get. When you're comfortable with your recoil control, you can mix in the additional leaning. I personally feel that aiming vertically, like normally, is easier to control the recoil, but again, that's just personal preference. For those of you who are curious on what sensitivity I'm currently running, I have actually recently changed it. I've gone back to a sense that I used to run a long time ago, which is 32 vertical, 75 horizontal, 7 left stick dead zone, 6 right stick, and 37 ADS. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, please leave a like. It would be greatly appreciated. If you happen to have any further questions, please leave them down in the comment section below and I'll try my best to respond to each one. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so to keep up to date with all my latest videos. This is Ebyte, and I shall see you guys in my next video.
Stable.